As someone who hosts multiple events in a year, I am always sending out emails, reminders, invitations. And so it's something that I do often, and I send multiple emails to multiple recipients. And this is not something I can do manually, it's not something I copy and paste. So I devised a way to do it using a combination of Canva and Make. And that's exactly what I'll be showing you in this tutorial. So if you're like me who hosts events, you send multiple, or even if you don't host events, but you're always sending out emails, to multiple recipients, this exact workflow is something that I think you can consider to, help you work smarter. So let me show you how I do it using Canva and Make. For a start, I will get a Canva template. I won't be designing from scratch. So what I do with Canva is to create the email design. So that's what I want to do now. So once I'm done with the design, we move over to Make. So for a start, we get an email template. I won't be designing from scratch like I mentioned earlier. So to narrow down my search, I need to be specific of what I want. So let's type in invitation or webinar invitation. Let me use webinar invitation. So here are some of the templates I can use, but I think I love this first one. So I'm just going to customize it. Just a little bit of customization. That's what I would do. So for this scenario or for this use case, I want to send a webinar invitation to multiple recipients automatically. So I will use this. I like this header. I'll just do a little bit of, I'll change this content here to my name, lesson. I will also change this to my URL. And I'm going to leave everything here, or maybe let me just use Magic Write to rewrite this. Now, if this were to be a real event, of course, the content of this design will have the detail of the event so that whoever is receiving it will take the required action. So, but because this is not a real event, I'm just going to use the content here. So I'll leave everything as it is. I'll also change this to blessing. I'll leave all of this other detail just the way they are. So the next thing I'm going to do, usually I would use this button here, this send test email. What this is for is that you will be able to send this email to, this design to your email. So you will see how it looks just to be sure that everything is correct and appears accurately. And if you're satisfied, you can now send it to multiple recipients. But I'm not going to do that because I already tested this earlier and it works just fine. So what I'm going to do next is to go to share and then copy as HTML. I don't want to download this. I don't want to copy it as just a test. I want this design to appear just the way it is when the recipients get it. So I'm going to use the HTML option. So I'll copy as HTML. I'll go ahead to copy it as to clipboard. So now we can head over to Make. So this is my Make dashboard. So what I'll do is to create a scenario. And before heading over to Make, or before creating a scenario, I have already prepared my email list. And this is the email that I have. And because, of course, this is just for this demonstration, I ensured that I didn't include other people's emails, just the emails that I have access to, just for the purpose of this demo. But if you have an email list, let's say you have a contact, for someone like me, I usually, of course, receive multiple email for my events. So you should have an email list in your Google Sheet or prepare a sheet that contains all the email contacts that you want to send the email to. So I have my email list ready. So I'll head over to Make and then start creating the scenario. So for a start, I will hit this Create Scenario button. Scenario is just like starting a new project in Make. That's just what it's about. So I'll get in my Google Sheets because that's where I want to access. That's where I have my email so that Make can send the emails automatically to the contact. So I'll use the search row module and then connect my file, the email list, my sheet right here. So I will go over here to type in the name so that Make will know the exact sheet that I want, the exact spreadsheet that I want for this scenario. And of course, it is sheet 1 because I already have one sheet here and it is named sheet 1. If I change the name here from sheet 1 to some other name, that's what will show up here. So the table has a header, yes, and I don't want to use filter because this is just, I only have few email. And for the limits, I will enter the maximum number of returned results. So the maximum number of email that I want to send for a run or for this scenario is just 3. I only have 3 emails, so I'm just going to use that. And then once I'm done, I'll just click on Save. I'll right click to run this module to be sure that everything appears accurately, just the way it should. So all the names, everything is accurate. I'll add a second module, which is going to be the Gmail. So I'm able to send email to the recipient. And I'll use the Send an Email module. Already I've connected my Gmail to my Make. So if you're using Make for the first time, you will of course make a connection. So right here, I need to map the column that has the email on my sheet. I need to map it so that Make knows where to get the email addresses. So, and the column that contains all the email is column B. And of course, you can also see the email here because that's the header as well. So I'm going to map this. And then for the subjects, it will be invitation to join webinar. To join webinar. So this is the subject that will appear when they receive the email. And here is the body type. So already I've copied my HTML. That's why I'm going to leave it as raw HTML. But if it were just to be text, I have text and images that I want to, insert here. I will use this option. So, but the option I want is raw HTML because that's what I'll be sending out. So this is where I can paste my content, which is the HTML that I copied from Canva. So I think I'm done with everything that I need here. So the next thing I'm going to do is to save. And now we can run this scenario. Once I click on this run once, what will happen is that Make will now send the email automatically to the recipient that I have on my list. So, but let me show you one of the emails the email addresses that I used. This is one of them. And the last email here is Anthropic. Let me refresh this. So the last email here is from the Anthropic team. So I'm going to now run this and you will see that this email address will get an email automatically from this scenario. So let's just run this and let's see. So it has delivered to all 3 recipients. And right here, I should get an email from this. I should get an email. Let me refresh and see. It has landed. All right, so here it is, invitation to join webinar, which is the subject I chose. If I open this up, you will see the exact design that I made in Canva. It appeared just the same way I designed it. No alteration, So this is how you can send multiple emails this is how you can send email to multiple recipients automatically using Canva and Make.